So this tutorial is going to show you how to add campaigns, eEdge campaigns. What you probably want to do before you start with your campaigns is go ahead and add some contacts using this tool right here to add new contacts, because contacts need to be entered into your database in order to add them to a campaign. So if you want to pause the video and go ahead and add your contacts, you can go ahead and do that. Once you've gotten your contacts added in, what you do is click on the plus sign next to My Marketing and choose Manage and Create Campaigns. Now this next page that opens up may look slightly different for you. I already have some campaigns that are either finished or that are still working. So I have all of those campaigns already in my little database here. If you've never added a campaign, then you'll have nothing here, so don't worry about it. What you're going to do is click on Advanced, and from here we can choose amongst the pre-built campaigns that eEdge has already provided for us. So if I click on the little arrows, I can see the buyers, the sellers, or the sphere campaigns, or I can click on the little arrow next to view all of the campaigns. So for today I'm just going to choose this 12 Direct Did You Know campaign. Now from here we need to decide what kind of campaign we want to send. We have three choices. I can send an email-only campaign with 12 emails. I can send a multi-channel campaign with 6 emails and 6 direct or printed mails, or just a direct mail campaign with 12 direct mails. So I'm going to choose email. And we can also click on this little arrow right here to see the different campaign elements that will be sent to the contacts. So if this is your first time setting up campaigns and you've never had your eEdge website set up professionally, then you're probably going to want to preview at least one element to make sure that your contact information is correct. So just click on one of them and we'll scroll down to take a look and see what the contact information that's coming in by default is. As you can see, I have the correct photo, my correct name, designation, phone number, my email address, my website address, my icon or my logo, and I also have the correct KW office address. And if I mouse over these little buttons for social media, I can see that I have my social media entered in. Now, if any of this is not coming up correctly for you, what you probably want to do is go back into your eEdge website settings and you want to set up that information to be the correct contact information for yourself. It's a common misconception among agents that if you filled out your profile to 100%, that all of your marketing and your websites will be correct, and that's not true. Some of that information will auto-populate to your websites, but a lot of it will not, including the correct website address and email address. So, and your logo, social information. So you are going to probably, if you have any problems with that, you're going to want to go back and change your eEdge settings to reflect the proper information. You can also, on this next screen, when we click on Next Step, I can manually edit each element, but it will take you considerably longer if you have to go in and manually edit each element to change, for example, your phone number. So you do just want to go ahead and have the default information to pull correctly. And if you need help from that, you can visit our website for more information, or get someone to professionally set up your eEdge website for you. So from here, what we can do is we can look at the different elements again. I can either preview them, I can create or edit the elements if I want to in the editing tool, or I can delete elements if I don't want to send certain of these elements out. So I'm going to show you the create tool or the edit tool. And if you did want to change just little things, say for example you had an extra dryer sheet tip that you wanted to add in there, then you could go ahead and do it this way. So once we get into the tool, what you can do is you can select all of these different elements and you can change them, for example, color, font, you can make them bigger or smaller. From here we can see the email footers, and if I wanted to change or add tips, I can also look at the email footer, and if I did want to change my phone number or something in here. But like I said, if you do change any of this contact information, you're going to have to change it manually in every single one of them. So that could take you a little bit longer than you might want to spend on it. Once you're done editing, what you want to do is just click on Save and pick a name for it to save it, and it will automatically update your campaign to reflect the new saved element. So I don't need to change it, so I'm just going to go back, and this is all fine for me since I have the correct contact information in there. I'm just going to click on Next Step. Now on this page, what I can do is change the name of my campaign, and I'm just going to call this Sample Campaign. And under here we have two basic types of campaigns given to you by eEdge. One is the interval campaign and the other is the date campaign. Basically, an interval campaign means that each element of the campaign is sent a specific number of days after the previous element. In this case, it's set to send out each element 30 days after the previous element. In a date campaign, each element is sent on a particular calendar date. So certain campaigns from eEdge, for example the 12 Direct Seasonal, which has elements pertaining to Thanksgiving or New Year's, you would want to have those sent out on particular calendar dates, so Thanksgiving obviously in November and not in July. But I'm going to leave this as an interval campaign because these elements are not date specific. So what I can do is I can change the schedule of the elements if I'd like to make the campaign elements appear to my contacts either more often or less often. So for example, if I wanted this campaign to show up in their inbox with one element per week as opposed to one element per month, I can go in and just set each element to appear 7 days after the previous element. So this way this is a weekly campaign. Alright, so once I've set that, all I have to do is click on Next Step. Now this is why I said before that you would need to have your contacts already entered in to your eEdge database in order to add them, because the only contacts that we can add to an email campaign are going to be already in your eEdge database. So if you haven't actually added all of your contacts, you can still add them later on. But for now I'm going to add one contact just to show you. Now if you had groups, you can add by group. You can select the group. You can also choose to search by last name, or you can manually click on each individual contact. Once you've selected them, you click on Add, and you need to click this box to say that you've previewed all the elements and you approve. So add the contacts to the campaign, and you can see over here I have one contact selected to add to my campaign. So I'm just going to click on Save Campaign. Now from here, you can tell right down at the bottom I have my new sample campaign. It's got 12 emails, it's an interval campaign, and the next delivery date will be tomorrow, which is the 18th of October. And I also have one contact added into it. Now from here, if I did want to add more contacts, I can add them by clicking on this little gearbox and choosing to add or remove contacts. So what I could do from here is just go back and add some new contacts or add some new groups if I wanted to at any time while this campaign is running. And once I've added them, I go back to Manage and Create Campaigns. Click on the gearbox, choose to add or remove contacts, and for example we will add this contact. So as you can see, I now have two contacts for this campaign, and I can return to the campaign homepage just to make sure I've done it correctly. And down here at the bottom you can see there are now two contacts for the campaign. Now for these campaigns that are already finished and that say Add Contacts, all I have to do is click on the gearbox and I could add or remove contacts to those campaigns.